Throughout any piece of literature, there is always conflict between different cultures. This could be a conflict between different nationalities, regions, ethnicities, and even religions. I think that in many pieces of literature, economic standards come into play as well. Class systems become a big part of cultural collisions, like the upper, middle, and lower slash working class. For example, a conflict can easily arise from a member of the lower class being envious of a member of the upper class, which leads to them stealing or being dishonest with the member of the upper class. Cultural collisions like these tend to always result in a character's sense of identity being pushed to the limit. In novels and plays, cultural collisions typically lead to the main character learning important life decisions, life lessons, that he or she will use throughout the rest of the novel. The novel I picked to relate to this topic is The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. I chose this novel because I think I know it very well, and it was my choice reading novel from back in Unit 2. There is an extensive list of cultural collisions throughout The Kite Runner, but the most significant collision was the ethnic collision between the Pashtuns and the Hazaras. Amir, who is one of our main characters, was a part of the Pashtun ethnicity. Pashtuns are very proud and educated people, and a majority of them were very wealthy and had a lot of power in society. And in many cases, if you were wealthy enough, you were able to own or have Hazaras live on your property, and they were people of the servant class. Hazaras were rarely respected by the Pashtuns and typically did not receive an education, as they were normally too busy tending to the Pashtuns' needs and wants. So they weren't able to go to school and learn. So this is where Hazan, another main character in The Kite Runner, comes into the picture. Hassan was born a Hazara, and his dad was a Hazara, and so he was born a servant, and he's been a servant ever since. So Hassan was also Amir's closest friend throughout The Kite Runner. But throughout the novel, there were clear instances where Amir questions his friendship with Hassan solely because Hassan is a Hazara and Amir is a Pashtun, so they were of different ethnicities. Amir has a hard time standing up for Hassan in a lot of challenging times that they kind of go through together. One in specific was where Asif, the neighborhood bully, and he was also a Hitler enthusiast, came across Amir and Hassan in the street one day. Asif told Amir that he shouldn't be hanging around Hazaras and began to pick on Amir for it. Amir froze and didn't stand up for himself, which resulted in Hassan stepping in and threatening Asif with his slingshot so that they would leave them alone. Amir recognized what Hassan had done for him, but he was still skeptical on whether or not he should continue being friends with someone that was a Hazara. Amir's personal identity was very flawed as he responded to his thoughts in the worst possible of ways. He allowed Hassan to get raped by Asif later in the novel and eventually planted his birthday money he had received under Hassan's bed so that Hassan would be forced to move away, and Amir would no longer have to feel guilty knowing that he could have stopped Hassan from getting raped. Culturally, it wasn't a big deal that a Hazara was dismissed from a Pashtun's house, but in the major scheme of things, it was really unnecessary. The cultural collision, this cultural collision was very relevant to the novel as a whole, because the collisions between cultures don't stop there in the novel. There were several more throughout the course of the book, and they made up the plot and what the book was about. The cultural conflicts throughout The Kite Runner were extremely relevant to modern cultural conflicts. There are still ethnic and religious conflicts in the Middle East, especially in Afghanistan, with the war between the Sunni and Shiites. Cultural collisions take place in every piece of literature. It's just the reader's job to figure out what they are and why they're important.